This is mock draft 2.0 with the Houston Texans. The draft is only in a few days, 3 for the Texans, 2 for the rest of the teams. Cue the intro. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of The Lead. Your host, as always, Harley Dugan. Let's not talk about logistics, anything, whatever. Let's just get into it. So without further ado, with the 67th pick overall, the Houston Texans select Wyatt Davis, guard out of Ohio State. If anybody saw my Twitter, make sure to check me out. Follow at TheLead_HOU. I was doing a mock draft the other day, and Wyatt Davis fell at 67. This dude is an absolute stud. And I talked about best player available versus need. This is a perfect example of it because you have interior line depth, but to grab a talent like Wyatt Davis, who is really damn good against the run, he's a mauler, and he's a guy that just likes to hit people. You'll see that in the film. Number 52 is who you'll be looking at because he loves to hit people. He looks and tries to hit people as much as he can. There is no questions about his strength or about his toughness. Him in the run game is what you want out of a guard. He's projected to be a starting guard, but him in the run game is just dirty. He fits perfect in this very heavy kind of scheme that the Houston Texans should be running. They should be having a power run, possibly kind of type of scheme. Now, the biggest thing is, well, Harley, how did he fall so late? Well, there's one thing about his inconsistency with body control. A lot of people are looking at his physical traits and it doesn't really add up to what he's been doing on the field. There's a little bit of a mixed reaction there. So that's why he did fell a little bit. Also, some of the injuries. So with that all being said, overall, Wyatt Davis at 67 would be an absolute steal for the Texans and is best player available on the board. With the 109th pick in the NFL draft, the Houston Texans select Jay Tufele, defensive lineman out of USC. This guy was a former rugby player that turned into a football stud. The guy, you cannot single block Jay Tufele. He's too big. He's 6'4", 310, and he's just extremely huge, man. Like I said, you cannot single team the guy. He commands double teams. And another thing about him is he has a really good motor. He has really strong coming out of the snap. He's explosive as hell. His hands are strong. He can play all three downs. He can play the rush. He can play the pass, does a bit of both. Really, really good for that Trojan team. A lot of people do want to see him, of course, personally grow, mature a little bit because, he doesn't have a lot of film on him becoming a rugby player, turning into a football player. He opted out of the 2020 season as well. So it's something that a lot of scouts have on him that they want to see more of. But overall, the guy has a feel for some of the blocking schemes. He understands how to get off blockers. He needs to work on some pass rush moves from the interior side, but this dude can do both. He plays all three downs. Would be an awesome pick at 109 for the Houston Texans. 147th pick of the NFL draft, the Houston Texans select Patrick Jones II out of the University of Pittsburgh. Yes, I double dipped the last mock draft I did, but this time there is nothing wrong with the Pittsburgh defense. They gave headaches to opposing quarterbacks, and one of them was Patrick Jones, 6'4", 260. The dude gets off the ball with a ton of bursts, and he had an impressive 2-year run in Pittsburgh, 25 tackles for loss, 17 and a half sacks. One thing about him is he needs to play with a little bit more motor. He needs to be more urgent, some lack of urgency that I've seen on his play, on his film. But overall, he is a 4-3 scheme fit for this Texans team, and he's really damn good against the run. Credit him because he's a really good film junkie. He's a respected team captain. He's a guy that, seems like a Houston Texan guy because he was respected by the team, respected by the coaches. Everybody liked him. Everybody loved him. And he's a jolly good guy, but he can play football. We're not getting just a jolly good guy and can't play football. No, Patrick Jones is a stud here with 147. 158th pick in the NFL draft. The Houston Texans select Marco Wilson, cornerback out of Florida, 6 feet, 195, really good size, and he has all the ingredients to being a really good corner. He has the size, he has the speed, he has the strength, he has the athleticism, but he hasn't really translated it during his time at Florida. There's a lot of mental errors and there's a lot of mistakes that happened on the field for Marco Wilson. There's a lot of fans, Florida fans that are upset with Marco Wilson, but he has the traits, he has the ability to potentially become something in the NFL. Get him with the right coach. Hopefully you got a good coach here in the cornerbacks coach, and I believe it's Dino Voss, the secondaries coach. So hopefully he comes in here and he turns his game into another level because there are sights to see with him. He's forceful at the point of a catch, really good size, explosive leaper. He can understand route progressions, and he's really good in zone coverage. He plays good in man, but you can see the understanding of a zone coverage, read, react kind of cornerback. This isn't a bad pick for the Texans, but it could be questionable here at 158. Going to the first of the 3 picks in the 6th round. I do not understand how this guy was here. I don't expect him to be here in the 6th round, but I took him anyway. Cornelius Powell, wide receiver out of Clemson, 6 foot, 195. The dude is awesome. I loved watching his film. His route running is next level. He has speed, he has separation, he has the burst at the line of the scrimmage, he can make contested catches, he's competitive as hell. The biggest reason why he's down here so far is because of the depth chart there at Clemson. He was really down on the depth chart, but of course, when you got guys like Mike Williams, T. Higgins, Hunter Renfrow, Deion Kane, whoever else I can't think of, Artavis Scott, Amari Rodgers, like all of these guys were ahead of him, but he still went through it, and you saw what he could do when he was called upon. Because I look at a guy like DJ Ugulalele, whatever you want to say his last name, but DJ, whenever he was in there instead of Lawrence, he had 52 catches, almost 800 yards. Cornelius Powell was an absolute beast with DJ, and in the same chemistry happened again with Trevor Lawrence, where he put out one of his best games of the season, and that was against Ohio State in the playoff game. Now, yes, there is some concerns. He had a year where he only had 15 catches, 125 yards. And yes, he has a limited sample size, but Powell is just a talent you cannot pass up at. I would love to see the Houston Texans take him with one of the 5th round picks, Cornelius Powell at 195. Second of 3 6th-round picks, number 203, the Houston Texans select Jermar Jefferson out of Oregon State, 5'9", 210. He's thick, he's small, he's got a good balance of both. Jermar Jefferson is a guy that's a very underrated back coming out of Oregon State, coming out of the draft, actually. Could fit really good in his own scheme, but I think overall he's not going to be very scheme dependent. I think he could be versatile in any kind of scheme. His change of direction is nasty. His footwork is awesome. He's rhythmic. He's a consistent player. During his career at Oregon State, he averaged 108 rushing yards a game, which is awesome. Okay. Now, when you look at him, yes, there is some, flaws in his game. Mostly it's being impatient with the blocks ahead of him. He has some impatience. His hands in the receiving game need to be better. I've seen him drop a lot of passes for my liking, and seems like, again, the pass protection, him blocking because of his size, he has a will to block. Now, he will go out and try to block, but he ain't the greatest, of course, 5'9", 205, 210, but he still is a matchup nightmare against linebackers. I could really see the Texans utilizing his strengths, just like the Patriots did with someone like a James White. I could see Jermar Jefferson being extremely similar here in the 6th round. Wrapping up the 6th round for the Houston Texans at 212, the Texans select Amarilenoir. And I know I probably said that wrong, but the cornerback out of Oregon, 5'11", 200. I loved his film. He is physical as hell. In the run game, he is a willing tackler. He will blow you up in the run game. But I'm talking about his zone coverage, and he's a perfect scheme fit, for what the Texans are going to be playing. Lenoir is a really good guy that's seamless and reading, reacting, and then doing what he needs to do when he is called upon. This guy is explosive. He has above average talent. He's got ball skills whenever it's a jump ball. He has a ball skills. He's made extraordinary interceptions for Oregon. He's falling here mostly because, Pac-12. Another thing is because, their games come on so late. So a lot of scouts don't watch him enough. But overall, he's fluid. He's really good. He's a damn good tackler, like I was saying. But again, he could struggle in space. He needs to work on his eye discipline. It gets him in trouble. But give me a guy that has proven in college he can get turnovers. And what is the one thing Lovie Smith wants? In his defenses, he wants turnovers. Lenoir can absolutely do that here with the Houston Texans. Hope you're still with me. Finishing up mock draft 2.0 is the Texans at 233 select safety Paris Ford out of the University of Pittsburgh. Yes, we're double dipping with the Pittsburgh Panthers. Their defense was just absolutely awesome this last season. They got a lot of talent that you're going to see and you're going to hear called on draft day. But let's go into Paris Ford, who arguably is one of my favorite picks in this draft. And you get him in the 7th round. He was supposed to come out possibly like a 3rd, 4th round pick, and dips all the way to the 6, 7 rounds because of his 40 time. He has a slow 40 time. But you're looking at that film right now going, he don't look slow to me, because he takes some of the best angles when he gets to running backs, when he gets to receivers. His angles, his pursuit is one of the best in this draft. Paris Ford would be an absolute steal at 233, and he lays the boom. He throws out his body. He will make tackles from the safety position, and he fits perfect in this scheme. Split zone is what he's used to playing in Pittsburgh. That's exactly what you're going to be doing here with the Tampa 2 zone heavy scheme. He has a chance to develop into a starting safety for the Houston Texans. So that's it for today's video, guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell for the notice to turn on. Drop your comments, your reactions down below in the comment section. Let me know, what do you think about mock draft 2.0? Is there any guys do y'all want me to take a more closer look into? Should I talk about quarterback? Should I talk about a specific position? Whatever, drop it down in the comment section. As always, guys, go Astros, go Rockets, go Texans. Y'all have a blessed day.